I'm Sovereign Sage, and sometimes this game doesn't play sound. So there was actually a major update for this game, and I had been waiting for it. And what's annoying about it is I've been trying to sign into the game since 3 o'clock this afternoon, and now it's already 9 o'clock at night. Um, so, I mean, I understand because they had maintenance, they had to fix stuff that could have been wrong, take out stuff and remove things and all of that. But like, it kept changing the time zone. First it said 11 UTC, and then it changed it again to military time, and it said 20 hours. And then it changed it again, so I thought maybe they meant like 9 at night. And it turns out that it was actually 7. It's already 9 at night now. But I could have signed into the game 2 hours ago, and I had been waiting around for nothing. Um, yeah, my sound is on. But yeah, I have no sound. Okay, you can hear it now. That must be a glitch. That is a glitch, actually. My game glitches like that, where skip Benty's nonsense. Where if I load in too fast, or depending on where I load in at, it will break the sound. You can see the sound isn't playing, so maybe the maintenance isn't done. I don't know. Well, they changed the wishes because they added what's his face, but I don't know why. Maybe I'm gonna have to leave. I'm probably gonna have to leave and come back. See, round of maintenance is complete. Sir apologies. Following issues in version 3 return when Kaching use normal attacks consecutively on enemies affected by Electro. Her level 2 constellation effects would be triggered at normal. Yeah, I noticed that. There is a probability that the burgeon reaction would not be properly included in the Elemental Mastery. There's an issue with Nahita's talent. Yeah, well, the game was acting funny. I'm gonna have to probably leave because the sound is still broken. Because she's talking to me at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, they're gonna just throw him in my face constantly. I had a friend who was doing that TCG or whatever it is. Sucrose seems to have received a strange thank you gift from the academia researcher, and it is analyzing what Timaeus with those cards. Hold on, I need to select it. I can't read. And is analyzing with Timaeus what those cards contained in the package are and what exact purpose they may serve. Yeah, so that's the one where I had a friend who posted that picture. I thought it was funny. There's people still mad that yeah, this is Furzon. Where's yeah, there's so apparently there's people mad that for those events they still have Ether as the main character for the artwork and not Lumine. I don't really care. So this character here, I've been hearing bad news about her. Apparently before she was released they nerfed her or something. They did something to her. And apparently now they changed it in such a way that not everybody can get her. I don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah, my sound is broken right here. I think I need to leave. Hold on. Let me clear this out for a moment. Yeah, because there's a lot happening in the game. I don't know if it still picks up my voice when I open these. I think I had tried testing it with Child a long time ago when I first got to Sumeru by pulling this menu up and talking at the same time to see if it was still covering me. What the hell was that? What was that? Yeah, I think I did do that before with Child. I brought it up to try to see if my voice was still being captured. Yeah, it's broken horribly. Well, hold on. Okay, did they add more domains? Is that why the game is breaking? Oh, fuck. I like how that was my reaction to the... No, I think they were supposed to add him as a, I mean, maybe that was a rumor. Where the hell am I? I feel horribly lost. Because right here in the middle of Sumeru City, they were supposed to add Skara as a domain right in here. But maybe they changed their mind on that. Yeah, I need to leave. That's why I pulled up the map. My game does this, and it always has done this actually, where if... how do I say this? Because I don't want to go to the city because I don't know where that main quest is at right now. I'm going to just teleport over here. If I go from one place to another, my sound will break. I mean, I've reported it, I've told them about it, but it still happens. Sometimes when I go and teleport to one of the god statues, I'll also get stuck walking from left to right while moving forward. And then you get like the spin glitch where your character gets stuck spinning in a circle as the stamina bar goes down. Haven't had that one in a bit. Oh. Okay, I can move 360, so. My sound still seems delayed. So the Nightbird falls at the curtain's call, yeah. So in order to look for more information about your sibling, you and Paimon decide to visit Nahida and the Sanctuary of Sarastana once more. Along the way, you hear people discussing something, yeah. That's where they, there's that TCG nonsense. That's where they're like, what should we do with him? Blah, 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 blah. I gotta be careful when accepting quests, because it'll lock me out of stuff. See, his isn't there yet, because I have to complete that. Oh, hold on. Where was that? Oh. Yes, the Archon has been. Yeah, but there was something else, though. Yeah, I know. I'm so just overwhelmed because I have a lot going on in this game right now. So let's just waste these. So I think I'm stacking at the bottom. I'm like 62, 77. 92. That puts me enough to get 2 more. Let me see something for a minute. Well, if I do my commission quest for the day, it might change it. I don't know. Okay, that puts me at 47 again, so we can look at that. No, the commission quests I did for today are fine. I have to wait till 2 a.m. Because of daylight saving time, my commission quest used to regenerate every day at 3 a.m. and I was so used to that because I had been on that schedule for like a long time. But because of the whole daylight saving time stuff, now it's 2 a.m. So I'm like, oh my god. Where is the... We don't get to keep those, do we? I'll have to check my video back to see. Because they were giving out Primo Gems for free. They were supposed to be giving out 800 of them. And I've only claimed it twice. Or actually, I might have claimed it 2 or 3 times, actually. I think they were supposed to send it another 2 or another 300 out to me one more time. I think it was one more time. Maybe I forgot. I don't know, I mean, I try to get characters in this game, but I don't know why there's water at the bottom of the screen. Did I break it? You see how there's like water coming through from Barbara's on her screen? Yeah, look at the water particles. Bro, what is that? Look at it. Water mixed with fire. You've seen it here. I feel like I'm losing my shit. Yeah, look at that. The water effect from Barbara is crossing through her screen. So it's like fire with water. See little bubbles every now and then. Well, this happens every time they update the game. It'll break, but I actually like this. I think it's cool. It's cute and cool to have different elements. I'm sure if I leave this screen, though, those water particle effects will go away. It's just it breaks sometimes, you know? Yeah, see, it's gone now. It's if you cross from one character's menu to another too fast, it'll break. I guess that was a rare occurrence. Alright. See, it doesn't last all the time. What I was saying is I'm overwhelmed with this game because I have a lot to do in it. This is a game where a lot of stuff stacks on me all the time. And there are some quests that take, I swear, they take from 5 to 8 hours to clear, and I'm not even kidding. It'll take me like several days just to finish one quest. Like the first one with the Aranara, that quest took me forever to finish. That was one of my longest quests, along with the Sakura tree root cleansing side quest. That one took me like 8 hours, literally. I live streamed it for live stream 13. So I also need to finish this one, and then this one, the Until Vana is Healed is the quest I've been wanting to start, because that's like the third, not even really like, it's like the fourth half of the main Aranara one that I was doing, where he wants you to go back and like see what's happening. So Withering, I guess the Withering is still there. After I went through all that crap, I went through a lot of crap to clear that. But apparently we need to go do this one. I kind of want to try to focus on the main quest because that's more important to me right now. Because this is just the interlude chapter. I don't know if there's supposed to be another chapter after this. But I don't think they're going to release that quite yet. Because you're supposed to do this whole Skara thing, and then you're supposed to go to Fontaine, the Hydro Gods region, and you're supposed to start your journey there. But I don't know if they're going to wait on that or what's happening with that. I don't know. Let me look at the date on that. What is it? 20 days. Maybe not then. I don't know. I try not to pay attention to stuff in this game too much because everything gets leaked. There's a lot of people who get frustrated about that. Myself included, because I have a friend, because, you know, everybody gets on that Bibli website, and it's a website where people just post a lot of crap, like videos and pictures, and there's always people that leak stuff on there. And a friend of mine gets all of his information from there, and he posts it on his channel, so I usually see leaks like the TGC thing. I knew about that, like, several weeks ago, because he posted that exact same picture a long time ago. So now that I'm seeing it now officially in game, I'm like, huh.
Add Astra.
I don't know how to feel. Feel a little numb to that. Oh, it's lagging. It's another thing, this game just lags so bad. It lags horribly bad. There's nothing I can do about it either. It's just the way the game runs. Like, out of all my other games that I own, this is the only game I have out of like the 48 games I own. Like, this is the only one that lags like this. And you figure, I mean, it's an open world game, but I have other open world games that I play. Like, Dragon's Dogma's open world, doesn't lag at all. Same thing with Final Fantasy 15, doesn't lag. Even Nier was kind of like open world-ish in a way too, didn't lag, never lagged on me. Even Dynasty Warriors 9's open world, and I was just playing that before this, and it was running just fine. So I don't know what the hell is going on. I mean, this game is, I guess, kind of bigger than those other games. I mean, it's kind of bigger than them, so I mean, I don't know. And because today, what is today? Today is Tuesday. So all my things regenerated, so I have to go and fight all the main domain bosses. Like, there's so much in this game for me to do, and it's been kind of getting overwhelming. I've been running out of in-game money trying to, like, ascend characters and stuff. There was a sword that I was working on, I think it was this one. I was trying to ascend it, but I didn't have enough money to do it, and it was, like, getting really frustrating. That sword. Okay. It was getting stressful, to say the least. I don't know why I'm wasting all my money ascending a damn weapon that I'm not going to use. Well, mainly what it was is I was trying to ascend this sword to get it really high leveled because I was going to give it to Layla for now, but I never got her. So the game was like, ha ha ha, you suck. That sword is higher than the one I gave to her, but I'm gonna have to... I don't know, I'm just trying to create better swords for my characters, but it is proving to be difficult. I'm like lacking stuff. Though that one for him, I honestly could change it. Nope. I had 2 more wishes I could have did, and I should have saved them, but I wasted it on stupid crap, so... Oh well, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I feel like I rarely get what I want in this game, so it's not a big
tells me
deal.
that something very interesting is about to happen.
Now she's continuing the text. As far as your brother, with so many questions. That's another thing that kind of gets annoying. Well, it's not kind of, it is. They don't leave the text on the bottom of the screen long enough for you to read it, and they don't have it voiced. It literally just flashes on the screen, and it's like you either have a chance to read it or you just miss out. And I don't know why it's set up like that. I wish I knew why. I mean, I've mentioned it to him before, but it's like something that's that untextured building. It's something that just has not been fixed since the game's first launch years ago. Where it'll be like exposition at the bottom of the screen. Every time a new chapter starts, Paimon will like give you like a heads up, like maybe we should go here, we haven't been here in a while, or she'll say something that kind of like initiates where you're supposed to go, like gets you set up to go there, but they don't let it stay on the screen long enough, and it's not voiced or anything, so it literally flashes on the screen and you miss all of it. The only time you don't is if you're recording and doing videos like I am. And not everybody who plays this is a YouTuber, and not everybody who plays this does videos. Sometimes people just play just because. So like if you don't have something recording that so you can go back and reread it, you basically just miss out on what was being said. It literally is just gone forever. I think I was supposed to go even higher up than this. There was another way to get higher up. I don't think I needed to go in through here. There was a door that I passed on the way in here that led further up. It led to a ramp that led up outside. Shit. Yeah, see. Mother of God. There's a ramp door outside. I'm an idiot. I'm just super stressed out, and I'm one of those people that deal with horrible stress and anxiety problems, and it's too much for me to deal with. If you get that feeling in my chest like I can't breathe, and you start fucking panicking and freaking out, and you start like tapping things, and you start snapping, and your mind is going a million miles per minute, and you can't calm the fuck down. It's almost the equivalent of a panic attack, and you just sit there and start rocking in place like a mental asylum person. I don't know. Not only that, the screen is so bright, it's screwing up my vision. They're like literally as bright as the Assassin's Creed loading screens. Those screens would blind the shit out of you. It'd be like in a dark room, and every time the loading screen came on, it would just blind you forever. And I already have issues with my eyes because I have photophobia. I'm sensitive to any type of light. Artificial, fluorescent, fake, real. Real as in like sunlight, artificial as in like a light bulb. Even my phone, like, my God. So sometimes when I read in game, if I was to pull up text of anything and then read it and then look away, I get these white and black lines across my vision that stay there for a while. And I literally have to blink to try to see correctly. And there's sometimes where I get blind spots like in my irises, or my pupils rather, where I can't see. Like I can see an image, but it feels like I'm missing something. This is where we're supposed to overhear something.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Every time he keeps saying essay, it just reminds me of what Hispanic people say. I'm also from Hispanic descent. I mean, I have family that are mixed, so I have family that are like Irish, I have family that are from like France or Italian, full-blooded Italians, and then like full-blooded Indians, Cherokee Indians. And so my family's mixed with like different crap, so it's hard to explain exactly. But it's just every time we keep saying essay, that's all I picture in my mind is the guys that walk around saying that. Never mind.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tataratsuna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Man, it's happening again. my mental disability is kicking my ass. Like when people talk, I hear what they're saying, but like it sounds out. So he says 3 sentences, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think?
That
The
word.
strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person.
This guy's getting off on this, isn't he?
I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Please stop saying that word. I can't hear it legitimately. Fuck.
Yes, you came to me. So all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
True.
Okay, but...
This guy does not look like he would really have a mustache. His voice is not matching up. My head turned like a doll. I'm gonna get you if I fall.
But that's all the way in Inazuma!
Yeah.
Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here is just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything.
So how about I research you and I pull out like a fucking giant table with a bunch of tools. Anyway, so, still, let's go listen in.
Great! Let's go find out what this Tataratsuna mystery is all about.
We already know. We were there. What the fuck? Inversion of Genesis. Don't know why I said it like that. Oh, okay. He's still gliding. I can
guess
still
I'll
hear
go
it.
with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper.
That guy felt like he struggled with that word. Is it just me, or did he like say it like he separated the words? Whatever.
If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
Please, what the fuck? Why does Lumine do this to herself? Have you noticed any part in this game where it's like, where can I find that blonde character? And she just falls literally into their hands from the ceiling. It's like, picture a guy sitting at a table, and he's like, if only I could find that traveler. And then she just falls from the ceiling and lands right on his plate in front of his face. Looking for me?
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Well, I'm the only blonde girl here. Have you ever seen any blonde person in Sumeru or any of the regions? Except, well, actually, I take that back. Jean and Barbara are blonde, and they're from Mondstadt, never mind. But in Inazuma, there's no blonde people. Not one. Well, actually, I lie. Yoimiya has blonde hair. Fuck. Well, then Sumeru, there's no blonde characters.
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
If you don't believe me, I'll go.
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma.
Yeah, you look the Inazuma part. I just realized the way he's dressed. I did not notice that at all until just now. Oh my god.
This is my first time coming face to face with you
Yeah, I
and
didn't
your
notice that.
mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
So Paimon's hair is silver, not white? I always thought it was white.
So what? For the love of...
For the love of God.
Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kind of lacking.
I must admit, I kind of do dislike the color of Lumine's hair. Because if you look at her anime artwork of her, her hair is more actual blonde. As where in game, it has like this orange tinge to it. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't look like a blonde. It looks more like a cheese kind of orange yellow. And I don't like it. I mean, it's cute on her. I like her. She prefers to be blonde. I mean, like, I prefer her to stay blonde. It's just they need to pick the right shade. Because if you look at her hair color and Ether's side by side, his is more like this beigeish yellow. And hers is like this cheese yellow, and cheese is more like an orange. And I'm like, why? If you look at the top of her head, it's significantly lighter than the bottom. And I'm like, what?
Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tataratsuna?
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
That's not true. We were actually there.
Ah, I see.
Sorry, I can't help this time, because I can't divulge the secrets of Inazuma to just anyone. The Electra Archon will hunt me down.
My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tataratsuna.
hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Jesus Christ, did his accent just change? Or is it my fucking... It's my disorder again, isn't it? Oh, no. Did it change? I feel like the moment he started the sentence, he started to sound more like he was like... I don't know what accent that is. But it just completely changed.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tataratsuna.
Oh my god.
The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade.
I have one of his blades. I'm actually looking for the other two, but I can't find them. But I have one.
But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows.
Because he went ballistic.
Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger. Someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
Like what, me?
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This kabuki mono lived in Tataratsuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
I swear to God, his accent feels different to me now. Or maybe I really just wasn't paying attention, but I swear when I first walked up, he was not talking like that, or maybe he was. Oh no.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kind of fishy to pine on.
See, the blonde in her hair changed again. See, I know because we're on darker lighting here. Now it looks more correct color. That's the color it should be, where it's like a light, almost like a light whitish blonde. So why the does it keep changing constantly?
Yes, my thoughts exactly.
Agreed.
So
He thinks so.
I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow, did I get lucky!
Dude, calm down.
Stop shouting!
Shano, shut the fuck up.
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago.
This guy is so loud, I feel like everybody in the whole entire city of Samara can hear him.
Even back then, Tataratsuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Oh my god. Could it be?
Wait, so there are two missing people in this story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Yes, but the only one that really comes to mind is Kaedehara and that other one whose name I can't remember.
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like
Ishin
Ishin
art.
art and so on?
Are we supposed to be telling him?
Wow, yes, you really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaedehara clan,
Fuck me.
the last practitioners of Ishin art.
I literally just said the Kaedehara clan, you suck. Well, I really like Kazuha a lot. Like, a lot. I like him a lot. Like, I love him so hard. But, like, that's why I pay attention to his character backstory. But he's not the only main sword clan. I can't remember what the other ones were because I never paid attention. He was the only one I gave a shit about because he's the main character. But there was the other guy who owns the forge in Inazuma City. I can't remember what his last name was right now. It was them and a couple others. Because the Ishin art, it's like broken into another sword style. Because technically, A's style was like the mother of all the sword styles, because she's the god of that region. That's why her, Kazuha, and I believe Shinobu, Ayaka, and Ayato, when they go to sheathe their swords, they have that little swirling like electro symbol. They all have it. Because it's like their styles are all like breeds from each other. It's like a giant tree and they're each branches of it. Like, that's kind of a better way to understand it. But they all do that. I don't know if there's any other sword characters from Inazuma that does that, but basically every Inazuman sword character does that, so.
Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
We know what happened to Kazuha's family, but I don't know if I should be disclosing that.
The Kaidahara clan?
Don't say anything, Paimon.
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
There's more.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabukimono was not a human, but a puppet.
Oh, wait a minute. When he was talking about the person who was at the forge, when A severed her connect, when she sealed Skara's powers and set him free, he was a forger for a while. Oh, fuck no.
A puppet?
Don't say anything. The Shogun puppet that the Electra Archon made should be ruling Inazuma with her. As we speak, it couldn't be her. The Kabukimono has to be the Balladeer, but what was he doing 400 years ago in Tataratsuna?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
Fuck. Glare at Paimon and hope she shuts the fuck up.
No! Paimon just meant, how creepy! The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
I'm dying because every time in this game it's like Lumi knows something and Paimon's always ruining it by blurting everything out, and we're always having to tell her to shut the hell up. But like the look she gets on her face because she knows. But you know what? Nahida can read people's minds, so if she was here, all she would have to do is her mind reading bullshit on me, and she would know that I know that I know that they don't know that I know that I know. Anyway, so okay, we're gonna read this fucking essay. That word. I can't take it seriously. This thesaurus page here. Man arrived in Tataratsuna around 3 in the afternoon. From far, I can't read. I told you, I have a disability that screws me up. I'm gonna try my best though. Because my word, it's not dyslexia. It's just, when I stare at letters, it screws up my vision will get blurry and it becomes hard, and I can see shadows of the letters behind the letters, so I see everything kind of like twice, almost as if I'm reading it underwater. So from afar he spied laborers walking along the mountain roads towards the factories. It's like, yeah, I'm seeing the words twice, so it's like a glare effect, and I have to see through it to get them to line up so that I can see the word. Their shoes scuffling along the jutting stones. They walk like people convinced that so long as they reach the fire raging in the mountain's belly, they might extract from its gems beyond price. I felt like that didn't make any sense to me, because it kind of didn't. The mood that the sight inspired was ineffable, beyond mere description for those not present to witness it. The man barked a cheerful greeting and sprinted towards I can't read. The procession! There, a towering character who stood half a head taller greeted him with a heavy slap on the back, and yet his words were filled with respect. Are you sure? Do my eyes deceive me, Sir Miyazaki? I cannot think that the return trip here from Inazuma City would have been easy on you. Miyazaki smiled like a young man taking the first steps on their journey. Expression relaxed. Why, Katsuragi? Inazuma is the realm of the almighty shogun. I sailed upon the fastest ship, strode upon the swiftest sea routes. What dangers could I have possibly faced? And what about the good news? There was some, naturally. The two burst into uproarious laughter. Damn it. Rough housing with the other workers until the path's end. A young man dressed in a linen shirt and wearing a headscarf gazed into the dancing flames of the furnace before him. Now the flames of a forge are unlike any other, for their intensity affects the resulting integrity of both metal and blades. So too, then, was the flame watcher an unusual individual. At his fingertips sat a lizard, and on his face he wore a smile. The workshop was huge, and the furnace was deeper within. A reasonable person might think that there should have, damn it, been many working alongside the watcher, yet he stood alone. Only when Katsuragi and Miyazaki strode into the room did the watcher turn. This watcher was Niwa, armory officer and administrator of Tataratsuna. Born in the Niwa clan, which served as one of the 3 pillars of the Ishin art, Niwa never argued with his siblings, and was a worthy successor by all accounts. The post he received as a result of his high standing with those in power served as a statement unto itself. Miyazaki handed a well-bundled text to Niwa. As he adjusted his expression, is that wrong? Should be as he adjusted his expression and said, Jesus Christ. It is, as you have said, sir, the elders of your clan in the city do not think highly of our plan. Yet I still believe it to be worth a try. As such, I have found the proper vendors and procured the materials that you requested. Jesus Christ. How am I supposed to read this correctly if it's like words aren't translated correctly? Holy shit. Yeah, I'm getting that blind spot in my vision where I'm getting those black and white lines across my vision. Because when I look away from my TV screen and down at my shoes on the box in front of me, it's like I see my shoes, but it's like a blind spot to where it's like I see them, but then it's like I can't. I don't know if that makes sense. I have to hurry and read this quickly because it's getting difficult. So Niwa studied the text and nodded. We should try some of these new forging techniques, whether Kayadahara says yes or no. That sounds wrong. Like, whether if he says yes or no, he's gonna give me what I want. About that. So, I've seen things I wish I hadn't. I'm not gonna go there. Anyway. Katsuragi frowned, and with a sigh he said, forging is a precise and difficult undertaking. You know this better than most, sirs, and still you seek improvement each day with terrifying drive. Should my lord Nagamasa hear this, the sourness in his face shall be hard to miss. Yeah, I've seen people draw bondage and art of Kazuha. So Niwa smiled, replying, and how goes the forging of your lord's great blade, Katsuragi? Katsuragi neither wanted to shame his master nor lie to his 2 friends, and yet he could not think of any way to deflect, and so gross. I see your ears are as keen as your hands, Sir Niwa. The jokes of us unlearned men are as nothing before you. Miyazaki hid his grin. Upon hearing this, Niwa released the lizard from his hand into Katsuragi's palm, but just as more words were to be exchanged, someone came walking nearby. Their footsteps it should be their footsteps lit with, well, how would you write that? Their footsteps light with the celerity of youth. Their footsteps lighted by the celerity of youth, maybe? I don't know. The head that peeked in was round, and in the light of the fires looked like an oiled jewel. The young man placed some boxed food at the side, and nodding, he prepared to leave. Katsuragi called out after him, "What about your share? Aren't you going to eat it?" The young man, upon hearing those words, found himself slightly at a loss. After a while, he answered, "Very well, I'll try it. You are welcome to the food. We eat all the same fare, after all." Niwa said. The man nodded and left, seemingly deep in thought. Jesus Christ, I feel like this is not working out for me at all. The Kabukimono was by the coast. Sunset fell, God, to the oh my God. Ah! Okay. Coming of darkness. The bands of twilight show themselves not, for in their place did thunderclouds roil, grumbling the omens of a coming rainstorm. I toned that down by 90, by the way. I could have screamed a lot worse than that. That's my frustrated screech. Darkness filled the flesh of the sea, and the dust bade the clouds to keel upon the land. Its supplication mirroring the Kabukimono with knees bent and face pointed towards the waters. None passed that way, and none knew what he was waiting for in silence. Time passed unmeasured and unaccounted, till a black cloud suddenly tore free from the sky and began to circle the Kabukimono, bearing down on him like a nightmare. Though he was not aware at first, after his studying gaze was refined by time, he understood this cloud had marked him from the very start. Outbound, a fishing boat drew near, the lights of its boat flickering in and out of sight beneath falling sheets of rain. You're turning into the ghost ship from Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Mist unspoiled, you can only see it at night, on certain islands. Crescent Island. A mist unspoiled across the area, stealing sight from the fisherman. Repeatedly he exclaimed, "It is but dusk. How are my eyes darkened? Is there anyone that can deliver my boat upon safe tides?" Like a following spear, the black cloud reached the bottom of the boat and was joined in its barefootness direction like a charging beast. They plunged into the shoreline. Scant steps away, the Kabukimono stood idle, slanting its head to study the ground wreck. Not but half an arm was left to the one who had cried out for help, and with a plop it landed at the Kabukimono's feet. He crouched to better study the object, straining against the urge to take a bite out of it. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, I have this image in my mind and it is not ideal. Yet he did not, for the dark clouds swirling down had already picked the remnants of the ship clean. The Kabukimono stared at it blankly, like an awakened dreamer. When he returned to himself, the clouds had scattered, as if they had never been there at all. As for the ship, could it have been struck down by a storm? Who was to know? Not the Kabukimono. Seems like he was the one who did it. Like, oh, the clouds were around him, but then they just went and conveniently destroyed a ship and conveniently brought it to the shore where he immediately conveniently was. Sure. Katsuragi rushed to the doorway and shouted, "My lord, things go ill at the furnace. I have searched for Sir Niwa, but there is no trace of him. He was the one who died in that ship. And much time has passed since Sir Miyazaki left to seek aid, but he has yet to send any missive. Look." Makoshi Nagamasa turned slowly, his face grave as one attending a funeral. He spoke then, his words heavy-leadened. "I wish not to say such words, Katsuragi, but Sir Miyazaki may never return." Katsuragi peered past Nagamasa's broad, stiff shoulders beyond the windows. The clouds above boiled in waves of black, as if darkness now was the only weather. It might even morph into an abyssal beast and devour Tatsuna whole. That's super dramatic. Over 10 people had already perished. That was why. Why? Katsuragi recoiled as if struck. Yes, it was coming back to him now, in dribs and drubs. That was why they had to set out to seek aid. Miyazaki had been the first to set sail. The clouds had only just begun to form then. Traveling from Tataratsuna to Inazuma to ask for support was normally no great feat, and yet there had been no sign of his return. Then a second ship was sent, followed by a third and a fourth, till the Kabukimono himself had departed upon the tides, under false skies and ominous fortunes. It had been Katsuragi who had brought him back, and treated him as his own. And it pained him greatly to see the lad go. Yet the situation in Tataratsuna was severe. Even should they sacrifice more lives, it would have been worth it to gain assistance from Inazuma City. Niwa was gone, and none could find him. Afterward, Nagamasa led a search party into the mountains and the area around the furnace, all to no avail. Folk began to wonder if Niwa might have encountered an accident, but worry soon turned into suspicion, and they wondered if he had fled, unwilling to bear the sin of having caused these incidents. The people grew ever more suspicious, and Nagamasa himself strained against such discontent and fury. His face had grown to resemble the rumbling clouds above. Suddenly a figure flashed by. Their presence did not go unnoticed by Nagamasa. He drew his blade and cut, though he had only nicked the silken veil the intruder wore, its straight-up scar. For a moment they swayed, and then, like a marionette pulled by strings, they moved behind Nagamasa, laughing darkly. "Are you seeking someone, my lord? Niwa, perhaps?" Nagamasa bellowed in fear. You dare address Sir Niwa directly? Yet the figure parted like mist before his falling blade, only to rematerialize beyond reach, but not beyond sight. A ghastly apparition indeed. Was it you who slew my people? Nagamasa howled and charged, held back only by Katsuragi's desperate grip. As his senses returned to him, he realized it was but he was but an inch away from falling into the furnace. It seems that the rest of his work remains unfinished. From the existing text, however, it is apparent that this is a novel of fantastical, colorful sensibilities born from an imagination well unutilized.
Oh, and please read my essay draft as well.
Ah! Oh, that's me when I'm frustrated. It's fine. So details. This text belongs to a series of works sponsored by the Valmahanas. I feel like I've heard that name. Veil Cutter Project. It has yet to be numbered. Author Aquaba, I guess that's the guy. Abstract. The Tatsuna area has always been a major pillar of Inazuma's smithy industry. 2 incidents have occurred here, and the details behind the first are vague at best. I believe, however, that there might, why is it incorrect? It should be, I believe, however, that there might be a hidden history behind the events that transpired. Jesus Christ. Hence, this paper will attempt to analyze what may have unfolded from the available data. I used to be in this, grammar class in high school, as well as one of my typing classes, where if you didn't have shit correct, they would fail you immediately. So I was always proofreading everything. So now when it comes to, because I used to be a writer for a while myself too. I used to write stuff. So now when I go to read things, my mind is auto-correcting it, and that's where I'm like, what? Because it's like that in Onmyoji when I was reading character passages, like it's not translated correctly, and their sentences don't make sense, and I'm like, okay, this is how you should write this. Or I mean, at least something that would make sense, because they leave out a word. They either leave out a word or a letter, or they rearrange the words around, and it's like, that's not, just doesn't make any sense. So when you look at it, you're like, what? So glossary, Tatsuna area, Raiden Gakuden, Mikoshi Nagamasa Kabuyukiono. Raiden Gakuden, what's her face? Introduction, this paper continues and expands the work of my mentor, Mr. Rumi. In his reports on the happily hidden tales of Tataratsuna, and is intended to further this avenue of research. According to the data, the blade forging techniques of Inazuma were originally handed down from the Electra Archon, I already said that, also known as the Raiden Shogun, using the arts they inherited from their Archon. The people of Inazuma devoted themselves to the process of forging. However, strange rumors that do not quite fit the steely nature of metal work yet linger about Tataratsuna, which was a central pillar of the forging industry. There, the Mikoshi and the Niwa clans, along with an eccentric puppet, serve as the 3 windows of insight. We need to investigate the truth behind what happened. So, bodies, strange notes from the Tatsuna area. The contents are as follows. So 1, perhaps I overslept, but I think that Sir Nakamasa's mood grows better when he forges blades. The obsession to cleanse the stain of the name Mikoshi must eat at him. Must eat away at him, would sound better. Also, Sir Katsuragi discovered a nameless eccentric while patrolling around Nazuchi Beach. 2, the inspector brought a certain number of jade steel ingots. Sir Katsuragi discussed matters of smithing deep into the night with the vice armory officer. 3, we at least made a single nagamaki. We call it the Daitatara Nagamasa. The inspector was in high spirits, I can't read, but he and the vice armory officer blank. Nozomo was so taken by the beauty of the Tatara Nagamasa that he drew a picture of it, and he performed a sword dance with that wandering eccentric. Oh my fucking god. 4, and we could not find that eccentric. The inspector flew into a rage and slashed Katsuragi. The great blade cut deep into the flesh, cast his own nagamaki into the furnace's flame. Nozomu could not abide by that order, and drew the completely metalled weapon out of the furnace. He was horribly burned. Oh, so the other guy threw it in, and then the other guy grabbed it. Nozomu died that night. I dare say that while Sir Katsuragi may have committed, I've never seen that word in my life. I have not. How do you say that? Malfeasance? It was out of the goodness of his heart. I've never seen that word before. I think it might be malfeasance. I've never seen it, I don't know. 6. So Kinjiro hid the Nagamaki and Nozuma's drawing in the arsenal. Nagamasa is harsh, but also knows right from wrong. But even so, he is not amenable to reason. His name indicates one obsessed with purity. Yeah. Still, I and some households of Tataratsuna had not been blinded by the matter of Nagamasa's mother Chiyo, and we trust him. I also remain unwilling to forget the joy of creation. That word, the joy of creation, returning into fucking Freddy Fazbear nonsense. The Dai Tata Nagamasa with him, and the joy of watching that nameless eccentric perform that sword dance with Katsuragi. Jesus. 7. Before we withdrew, we should have divided the arsenal key into 3 parts. One for the inspector, one for the armory officer, and one to be left in Tataratsuna itself to prevent theft. As we're talking about those keys, I found 3 of them, I think, that gave me one of the swords. Because there's 3 swords and I only have 1. But I don't have the right materials to forge it, but I have it. But we were in too much of a hurry, and neither the inspector nor the armory officer could be found, so I was so bold as to hide the 3 pieces within treasure chest in Tataratsuna. Yes, I know about this. I do know about this. The 7 notes mentioned prior have been scattered across the Tataratsuna area. Among the 7 notes, 6 seem to be of good physical integrity, though they all look quite old, while the last one looks more recent. I believe that the first 6 notes and the last are of different time periods, though the gulf in years between them needs to be verified. The contents of the first 6 should also be related to each other. As the incidents mentioned are quite consistent with one another, Rumi once mentioned in Happily Hidden Tales of Tataratsuna, hereafter known as Hidden Tales, that in the past, the researchers from Sumeru had investigated the cultural histories of Tataratsuna and Inazuma, though the place has fallen into some degree of disrepair since the Hidden Tales were written. Things have improved since that time when I wrote my original article. Regardless, what was used to be an area of major industry remains a piece most inhospitable. The residents of Tataratsuna may be found living and dwelling by the waters. The residents, when questioned, told the researchers of Tataratsuna's golden age centuries ago, when it was administered by Army Officer Niwa, Vice Armory Officer Miyazaki, and Inspector Mikoshi Nagamasa. Yet the elders among the locals with deeper ties to the region also seemed to stress the fact that there were strange rumors surrounding their homeland's past. A great many of these rumors revolved around the yokai, who are so very characteristic of Inazuma's folk histories. A small portion, however, repeatedly mentions the word puppet. It should be known that puppets are neither traditional nor common yokai in Inazuma. This fact drew the attention of the researchers to delve further, and eventually the following pieces of information came to light. A puppet did once appear in Tataratsuna. Its visage was elegant, its apparel impeccable, and the way it dressed hid all the joint lines on its body. If no one were to mention that it was indeed a puppet, it would be hard to tell at all. Additionally, this puppet seems to possess special joint lines that would fade with time, potentially even disappearing altogether, which would perhaps eventually make the puppet seem entirely human, like Skara. The name of the puppet was known to almost none. Some folk claimed to have spotted it appearing around Tataratsuna, while others mentioned encountering it in the central regions of the area. Some even claimed that it would frequent the beach, tales spread of it standing beside the sea and gazing across the waters towards Inazuma City. What it was that the puppet was gazing at remains a mystery. Its mother, probably, because he's like, "I'll get you." Because she sealed his power and casted him out, so of course he was always going to stare back at that. Like, that's where he's from, come on. But these people didn't know that, so that makes sense. As mentioned earlier, the 6 notes all document a certain nameless eccentric. The eccentric, which can also be read as Kabuki-mono, is usually used in Inazuma to refer to a figure who dresses or behaves in a peculiar manner. He just said that earlier. It is understandable, therefore, why this character would have left such an impression. Should the people of Tataratsuna indeed have had a puppet in their midst incurring mass panic, a good possibility considering the coexistence between yokai and humans in Inazuma at large, then the puppet would very likely became a local resident, yeah. What is less well known is if the Kabuki-mono was just another title for this puppet, perhaps because it was uniquely dressed to distract attention from its more special characteristics. A workable theory, but one that still lacks enough evidence to support it. Still, it can be retained as an analytical lens of sorts. A list of individuals related to Tataratsuna has been compiled here based on historical documents from Inazuma. Starting from the administrators, the records are as follow. Armory Officer Niwa, full name Niwa Hisahide, so Hisahide is his first name. He was the inheritor of the Ishin art and successor of the Niwa clan, or to the Niwa clan. His family, along with the Akame and the Kayadahara clans, were together known as the Ishin Sansaku. Yeah. Records, Sansaku just sounds like, well, it's Sansaku, but it just sounds like Sun Tzu's name in Japanese, Sansaku. Because it's Sansaku. Oh my god. They even turned him into a female and made him a DLC character in fucking Senran Kagura Estival Versus. He was a Iki Tosen character, I think. Him and Lubu, and Lubu was like a green-haired girl. They turned all of the Dynasty characters into women. Even Lu Mong was a character, I think, and it was a girl too. So Nganyu was also a girl. So records show that Niwa was a modest and intelligent individual who displayed remarkable talent in the administration of territory and people. His eventual whereabouts are unknown, but he was suspected to have left Tataratsuna with his family following the incident. Nah, he did not. He died horribly, as stated in that last article. Like, I guess Skara saw him die by a ship or something, and he was decapitated, and yeah. So Vice Armory Officer Miyazaki, full name Miyazaki Kanoe. It's actually Kaneo, isn't it? He was Niwa's second in command. His origins are unknown, and he was primarily assisted Niwa in forging and personnel management. He was of affable temperament and had many friends in the region, including one Makoshi Nagamasa. The inspector was Makoshi Nagamasa, the successor of the Makoshi clan, adopted son to Oni warrior Makoshi Chiyo, and the younger adopted brother to Makoshi Michihiro, also known as Iwakura the successor. With his mother missing and abandoned by his brother, Nagamasa alone bore the family name, striving daily to wipe the shame from their history. Though records state that Nagamasa was a stubborn figure, he was also noted to be a person of moral virtue and integrity. It has been noted in various records that he practiced forging swords for self-cultivation, and specially requested special instruction from Miyazaki to further his capabilities. However, after the famous blade, Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, he used it to slay his subordinate Katsuragi for reasons unknown at present. So his subordinate was Katsuragi. Katsuragi's full name and background remain unknown. Despite all the materials I have sorted through, I have yet to find any more additional personal information regarding him. As one of Makoshi Nagamasa's subordinates, he was a loyal warrior who had been saved by Nagamasa in his youth. From then on, he swore to stick by his lord through thick and thin, and to give his life in service if it was asked of him. So, the Kabukimono, full name unknown, background unknown. From the many sources I have compiled, combined with Rumi's personal observations, this character might have been the puppet mentioned in the rumors. The Kabukimono was a figure of fashionable grace and gentleness. I doubt that. According to the hidden tales, he was brought back to Tataratsuna by Katsuragi and became a member of the community. When the Kabukimono first arrived in Tataratsuna, he knew nothing of cleaning, cooking, or any work of meticulous nature. The locals taught him their skills over time, showing him how to clean his attire, dance, and craft small trinkets. Records state that the Kabukimono was there when the Daitatara Nagamasa was forged. Fuck me. Though his trail ends before Makoshi Nagamasa slew Katsuragi, I believe that the Kabukimono was indeed the aforementioned puppet, and that he quite likely had a hand in Katsuragi's death. Yeah, I want to say he possessed Nagamasa into slaying Katsuragi somehow, drove him mad, I guess. He went. What I think really happened is he was taunting Nagamasa, floating in front of him, "Oh, look at me!" And then when he went to go slash at him, he disappeared. And he accidentally struck Katsuragi. Maybe Katsuragi was trying to talk to Nagamasa, but Nagamasa saw Katsuragi as Skara, because I think this is Skara we're talking about when they keep saying puppet. So he tricked him. So when he went to go slash him, he hit actually Katsuragi, not really Skara, I think is what really happened. But it was too late, I guess. It seems that the rest of this paper remains unfinished. One thing is for sure, though. A lot of thought was put into it.
Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it.
Oh, I got so lost reading that now my mind is like, what the fuck?
Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative